All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people of freedom, and welcome once again to Let's Talk TV, your one and only YouTube platform that gives you updated news and information and everything happening in Biafran territory. So, do not forget to subscribe to this channel and also make sure you turn on your notification as we continue, to give you updated news and information as the matter they be. Now, the issue of where they call him Delilah, but the reason why they are calling why they are calling her rather Delilah is because of the fact that she rebelled her husband, and also she has been linked multiple times with the ordeal that happened to Nnamdi. We are talking about no other person than Uchechi Kanu, that is the wife of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Uchechi Kanu, who has actually formed ally against those who are fighting the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá. In fact, as a matter of fact, she is the person who is spearheading it currently now. She has shown her hatred for the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá Njoku, despite all said by her husband. A wife that does not respect the husband, is, or rather will be a problem against the husband and against every activities of the husband. That is why men always approve of a wife that will definitely respect them. But realistically, it shows that Uchechi Kanu, does not respect the husband. A man who is actually feared by, the Zoological Republic of Nigeria, and a man who is well respected by every individual in Biafran land. Uchechi Kanu disobeyed the direct order of the husband. The husband wants Uchechi Kanu not to say anything or have any conversation against the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá, and it actually shows. It shows disobedience from her own end. You coming out to disobey the direct order of your husband. Now, a lot of expositions were made on the leader of the indigenous people of Biafran wife, that is Uchechi Kanu. In fact, I'm even shocked at the evidence coming against Uchechi Kanu and her rebellious nature. The worst mistake she did was coming out in their radio, whatever, that they are currently controlling, using to even uphold the Nigerian government, to speak against the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá. It was a rubbish talk, first of all. It was an insultive talk, secondly, and also there was no point for all that. There was no point for all that. It actually proved that everything that was said against her was just the reality. It's as simple as that. Now, let us watch the real exposition against Uchechi Kanu, where she was exposed beyond order. In fact, it is so shameless that her nakedness is actually being shameful to Biafrans, and it is painful that the leader of the indigenous people or Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have such a wife. A lot has actually happened in the absence of Onyendo Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I will always say it is because of the fact that Onyendo Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not around. That is why all these things are happening. But it is good because at least Onyendo Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now truly knows who is for him and who is against him. Now enjoy this video and make sure you share this video to as many groups and platforms as possible. This is a very serious video for all Biafrans to know.
Wow. This very live presentation this evening, today's date is 16th of September 2024, and the time right now is exactly 25 minutes past 8 p.m. in the land of Chukwokika, Biama. I hope you can hear my voice. Please, if you can hear my voice, let me know in the comment section before we proceed. Let me know if my voice is sound and clear in the comment section before we proceed, please. Very, very important. Can you hear my voice? Is my voice coming out clear? I can see your comments in the comment section, my wonderful people of Biafra, but because of our time, we are not going to do as usual this very moment because we've got a lot of things at hand. So now I also immediately, without further hesitation, this very live broadcast this evening, walking on, and it's going to be remembered. This evening live show will be remembered. So those of you who are able, who will be able to save, to download, to live stream on your different and various platforms, those of you who can share, if you know anything that you can do to keep this very broadcast, that will be very, very fantastic. Because even before this very broadcast, I have already dreamed in the past, not even today, because I knew a day like this will come. I haven't actually made a full-time broadcast talking about the Delilah. Yes, I have talked about her in several occasions, but not a full broadcast like this, which is what we are going to do this evening. I haven't also castigated her. I have always asked her simple questions. Whenever I talk about her, it's always a question. So, for the fact that we have dedicated this very full broadcast, live broadcast, I don't know how many hours it's going to take us to be here this evening. I would like it to be saved, because when time comes, we will revisit today. Again, one of the most important reasons that I have taken it upon myself to do this very evening live presentation is because of my personal role, the role that I played personally in smoking out the Delilah, in bringing the Delilah out again in the public to rant, starting with the discussion between me and the Prime Minister, which took place on his ex live show a couple of days ago. I am very, very certain that almost all of you who are listening right now had that very conversation, which went so much viral, and the criminals in the DOS could not bear it. The Delilah could not bear it. Then she has to run like Osa or Mapatanonu. The live conversation between me and the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, His Excellency Èkpá Simon Njoko, which he said that he challenged the one that they call Uchechi, because the husband has banned her from talking about or against the Prime Minister moving forward. And he said that I challenge her to come out again and speak about me. He's talking, the Prime Minister was talking to the woman through our conversation. Now, as if that was not enough, the subsequent live broadcast which I had, I'm going to ask you a question now after referencing this. the subsequent live broadcast that I had the next day, I also announced, when I played the conversation with PM, I said to you listening to me right now, and I said to her directly from this very platform, that the PM has challenged you. And I know that the reason why he challenged you was because the order was given directly from our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. I also said that, but the moment she heard the broadcast, the challenge of the Prime Minister, and the broadcast that I'm making that very moment, I told you not to be surprised if you see her any moment from now moving forward, jumping up and down on the radio Fulani, Radio Nigeria, where they call Radio Biafra, to rant a girl. How many of you were here when I made that announcement a couple of days ago? How many of you heard me say that? I told you, despite the challenge from the PM, do not be surprised if you see her on Radio Nigeria moving forward in few days to come. Do not be surprised if you see her coming there to rant. How many of you heard me say that? you see? Now, to make the matter worse, she could not even wait. With all the challenge, the heavy challenge from the PM and my own statement, which I made very clear, I am very, very certain that she heard that statement I made. I am 1,000,000% certain. In fact, that very broadcast probably should be my last broadcast. Let me even check my gallery. That very live broadcast was arguably my last live broadcast. My own personal live broadcast. Okay, it was second to the last broadcast apart from today. And that was just 4 days ago when I was talking about these saboteurs and amnesty collectors receiving woto from BLA. Where I also talked about, I was asking the one that called himself Meme Kanu question. Just 4 days ago, I warned. I said that even though with the challenge thrown at her by the PM and the word that I'm saying, do not be dismayed, do not be surprised if you see her tomorrow jumping on Radio Biafra. Boom. It did not even take ordinary 1 week to show you how desperate they are, to show you how idiotic they are, to show you how ignorant they are, to show you how shameless they are. It did not take ordinary 5 days. Ordinary 5 days. Boom. She was on Radio Biafra. Oh, God forgive me. She was on Radio Nigeria. She was on Radio Nigeria. Wow. Wow. This is another evidence of our strength. Another evidence of our strength and capability. Are you paying attention to what I'm saying? We are not here to sugarcoat any nonsense word. That is another evidence of our capability, our capacity, and our strength. Anybody who doesn't like it should go and hug transformer. If you are joining me right now, please, I want you to pay attention. We are not going to waste time. We will go straight to the point this evening. Please do the needful, like, and of course, welcome others as I welcome you. These very preambles will not take much time. We are diving straight into the main matter. I've got lots of, news that I really want to discuss this evening. Lots of them, many of them. But for the fact that this Uchechi, for the fact that this Uchechi matter and her useless rant on Radio Fulani is a kind of long, is briefly longer than, I expected, I think I will have to jump straight into her matter. So please, once you are here, I welcome every one of you, even though I do not mention them today because the comments are too many. Let us move straight into the main matter that has brought us here this evening. Please, I welcome every one of you. Endeavor to welcome others. Now, we are going to begin with her own broadcast. After her broadcast, I don't insult anybody. I don't insult anybody. Talk more of insulting a woman. So, for the fact that I do not insult anybody, talk more of insulting a woman, we are going to expose her with some certain questions, right? So, first of all, we will analyze her own words and broadcast. After analyzing it properly, we will then use another video to question her. And that question, I bet you it will never receive any answer. We will question her with a different video, which I have already gotten. After that, we'll call it short. Now, those of you who will also make comments will be getting ready. Let us move and, of course, listen to the Delilah of our own time. And from there, we will start analyzing her. I buy autonomy mafia without insult.
What's going on in the East now?
Insult, but based on what she will say here.
My brother-in-law, someone working for him, was coming with a worker, Ejide Hanozo, in Imo State. One of y'all was another about Jane, because it won't Nnamdi Kanu, it won't you, sorry. It's I think on this side, it won't y'all was in a gave a no new boom cap and I go on about Jane or by Joni, so no, but what do you was about Doni, but on you, about Jane.
Uchechi, can you be straightforward and stop stammering? Can you, for once, be straightforward and stop stammering? If you don't know what you're saying, just don't say it.
So keep that aside as well. Some people have a kidnap on her. They kidnap these people and then they ask for or request for ransom.
Are you not aware that your boyfriend, Uchechi sorry, hey, God forgive me. Uchechi Delilah Ejiofor. Uchechi Delilah Ejiofor. Are you not aware that your man friend, your own man friend, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, and his best friend, called Benjamin Madubugu, are into kidnapping in Biafra land? Are you not aware that they have gangs of kidnappers? That they kidnapped the Minister of Utilities in Anambra State? Are you not aware? This is something that is in the public. The whole world is aware of it. They have never debunked it. We know Ifeanyi Ejiofor very well, how he's a media you know, he's a media monger. He's a femme monger. He's a femme monger, Ifajuna. He's somebody that loves camera. He loves media. He loves publicity. If Ifajuna Ejiofor was never guilty of that allegation, it would have been all guns blazing. The roof would have been on fire. He would have been coming to today. He will be talking about it. Although he may listen to me now tomorrow or maputakwa. I na adofanedo. Ima oga in on a village. Oga in a tonite. Igaruo. Onwere otu na-esi achụ ewu. Ima ewu na-atụ ọnụ na-abụ. Ịga na the other side. Iwelu ife akwụ. Egbusisi akwụ otu a. That ukwu ya amam ife a na-akpọ ya. Amunye ya ọkụ. Wee welie sonye na ofu ọnụ ewi. Anwụrụ n'afọ ya n'ime. Ọ ya fugidie n'ime ọ mapụta n'ike. Otu aka anyị na-esi emefa. I know na ya do fanedo. Even though when they know that we are just trying to smoke them out, they will still come. They will idiotically come. That is to show you that they are ignorant. Now, if Ifajuna Ejiofor has the history of running a kidnapping gang in Biafra land, which he has been busted several times. But do you know why the Nigerian police cannot arrest him? Nigerian police cannot arrest him. DSS cannot arrest him. In fact, Nigeria cannot arrest him because the game they all played together to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu supersedes every other crime that Ifeanyi Ejiofor can commit in Nigeria. Are you paying attention? What I'm saying this night, Bo, I don't know if I will have this type of broadcast again. The crime of Ifeanyi Ejiofor that resulted the kidnap of Nnamdi Kanu supersedes every other crime he will commit in Nigeria. Therefore, nothing will happen to him. As far as the zoo is concerned, he will never, ever be arrested for kidnapping. Because they know themselves. They know themselves. Are you aware that Meme Kanu was arrested for car snatching? They detained him only for 3 months and he was released. Because of what? They know themselves. These are people that are gathered together to commit the biggest crime in the history of the Zoological Republic, if not history of Africa, because I've never seen such extraordinary rendition before in my life. Now, when you say kidnapping, you are talking about your man friend and his colleague, Benjamin Madubugu.
Now, where does the exchange take place? The back of the military checkpoint or police checkpoint. Also hold that. Now, that should align you or allude that to what Abacha once said, that any insurgents that lasted for 48 hours, take it to the bank, Aka government in there.
Of course.
Always said that, even before.
Of course. Yes. Yes. You nailed it. You nailed it, Uchechi Delilah Ejiofor. You nailed it. Any insurgency or insurgents, whatever they call it, that lasted beyond 24 hours, that means Aka government in Onia, you nailed it. You nailed it. That is the reason why the kidnapping of Ifeanyi Ejiofor, the kidnapping crimes, the kidnapping crimes of Ifeanyi Ejiofor has lasted for 3 years now. Because of what? Aka government in Donia. At least in Kanu evidence. evidence of the kidnapping of the Minister of Utility in Anambra State. There is evidence. The man himself confessed. The video is there. So, you nailed it.
Before I became aware of Abacha's statement, I have always known that I said to myself that any location, any environment, the people come together. So we're forming vigilantes. Such thing can never happen in our village. Go around there. Go and make your survey. Such thing will never happen. Any environment, the police force or whoever said there will be no crime here, go and check it. There will be no crime. Why can't you go to Asarok and make kidnap on that around that DSS connecting to the why can't you go and make kidnap? They never gonna make kidnap now. So the kidnapping stuff going on in the east, these criminals are working with some politicians, government in there, which will then take me to the leader of these kidnappers, these terrorists, yeah?
Now, the chicken, the chicken has finally come home to roast. Let's take that again. She said something about vigilante. Let's take that. Let's take it back. The chicken has finally come home to roast.
With some politicians. Stuff going on in kidnap. They never got that around that DSS connecting to the why can't you go any location, any environment, the people come together. So we're forming vigilantes. Such thing can never happen in our village.
Did you get that? I want you to be connecting the dots. Like as I said, I am going to analyze whatever she said and of course nailed her with what she will say. After that, I will play a video to ask her important question that can never receive any answer. But with that question, all of us will know what is going on, even though we already know. She said that any village, let's take that back again a little bit.
So we're forming vigilantes. The environment, the people come together. So we're forming vigilantes. Such thing can never happen in our village.
Did you get that? In any environment that people come together and say, let us form vigilante, such a thing can never happen in their village. So one of the angers that made the zoo to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu was because Nnamdi Kanu formed the Eastern Security Network. Are you paying attention? She's just exposing herself. Not be me talking, na she talking. She said that any environment that people come together and say, let them form vigilante, people, he did not say government, people in the village come together and say, let them form vigilante, such a thing will never happen. Now, do you know what she said is true? You know why? We used to have vigilante groups in our villages in Igbo land, which is approved by the government. Pay attention, please. We are heading somewhere. This vigilante of a thing did not start from today. Even when I was growing up, I used to know vigilant group. So, but it used to be approved by the government, because those who run these vigilante groups are the village chiefs, village heads, which is also registered in various local government offices. So, but the one that her husband formed, which was the Eastern Security Network, has no affiliation with the government. And that's why she told you that such a thing can never happen in their village. That's why the government did everything they could to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu, which she was at the helm of the affairs. I didn't start exposing this today. She is, or should I say she was, at the helm of the affairs. Every single thing that happened to Nnamdi Kanu started with a job for Meme Kanu, Kanu Takanu, and Uchechi Kanu. Pay attention. Every single thing today that happened to Nnamdi Kanu began with Ifeanyi Ejiofor. He is the one that orchestrated the meeting. He is the one that organized the meeting with the traditional rulers, Ohaneze Ndigbo, and Igbo governors. He confessed it when the woto was too much under the guise of UGM. Under the guise of UGM. The woto was too much. It was too much. They began to gather. The vultures began to gather. The hyenas, the jackals began to circle. The cloud began to gather. Then Ejiofor struck the deal with the government of the zoo, which brought in Meme Kanu, because that was the closest one in the village. Meme Kanu brought in Kanu Takano. Kanu Takano brought in this evil woman you see today now, even though they are no longer working together. Do you know the reason why they are not working together? Because of the problem that came in between DOS and Kanu Takano, and DOS with Ejiofor, why Kanu Takano with Nnamdi. Are you paying attention? Kanu Takano with Nnamdi. And the problem was, after sharing the proceed, you know the way God does things mysteriously. After sharing the proceed, although they did not share proceed, they all got their own individually, directly from the government. So after taking their proceed, now the issue now became the bigger issue became how to manage the IPOB funds. That was where problem came. That was what caused the problem that divided this group, this criminal evil group. Because God has its own way of doing things. That small one, that one you see as small, it's never small. IPOB was having billions. Did you hear what I said? IPOB was having billions. Which Nnamdi Kanu confirmed it. Nnamdi Kanu, in one of his broadcasts before his kidnap, he confirmed that IPOB is very rich, which is true, because Biafrans was contributing with all their heart. Do you know the work Nnamdi Kanu did? Nnamdi Kanu did extraordinary job to galvanize the minds of every Biafran, including our people in coastal region. He did extraordinary job. Everybody was contributing to IPOB. We were having billions. Wealthy and financially buoyant enough to stand the zoo. Not as wealthy as the zoo, of course not, but financially buoyant enough to stand the zoo. So the problem was who and how to control the IPOB funds. Kanu Meme wanted to use family as the pillar. It's our family business. The leader is my brother. So I'm supposed to be on top. I'm supposed to be in charge. Chike Dozie, no, I am the head of DOS. I'm supposed to be the one who gives orders of what happens. That was the problem. None of them wanted to let go. Ego and the selfish interest was exactly what divided this group into two. DOS, Chike Dozie, Chinas Anwohu and all of them began to work with Ifeanyi Ejiofor, while this one was working with Nnamdi. And the same way they divided was the same way they divided the money, because the money was not only in the account controlled by Nnamdi. So, and God was the one who was doing all these things, making sure that this group of criminals were never at peace. And God disorganized them, destroyed their plans. That is how they all these things you see today, and they can never come together again, because the trust is not there. They can't even compromise. They can't compromise any of their interests in order to work together again. It's not possible. Even though they are listening to me now, they can never work together. It's impossible.
Go around there. Go and make your survey. Such thing will never happen.
So, as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu formed Eastern Security Network, it was the dagger. That was the dagger. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, and the zoo said, no, this man has finally woken up to fight for his freedom, because they know that freedom will only come when you fight for it. They know. The whole world is aware that freedom only comes when you fight for it, not when you agitate for it. You can never in this world get freedom through agitation. It's not possible. You must fight for it. You can agitate when you are trying to bring people together, but when you are mean and serious to be free, you go for it. You fight. So when he formed it, the full and Indian Abamba were idea that this man has now started. They did everything they could to kidnap him. Using these individuals, Uche Kanu, where have you been for the past 3 years? Are you not ashamed of yourself? She is now naked. Uchechi is naked. Uchechi is naked. That's why you can never see her on video again. I want to challenge her to make a video. Uchechi Kanu, we know your face. You are not hiding your face. We know you. You are not in Biafra. Even though you are in Biafra, nothing will happen to you. Unlike me, we are not the same. I'm a pure freedom fighter. You, Uchechi Kanu, if you are not ashamed, I challenge you to make a video of yourself to speak. You are naked. You are completely naked. The whole world, the whole Biafrans all over the world have known who you are. You are naked. Therefore, you can never open your face in the public again, because you are naked. Uchechi is a big challenge. Make a live video. You don't have to stay for 1 hour. Make only 2 minutes video and send it on social media. It's a challenge I'm giving to you today. 16 September, and the time right now is 59 minutes to 9. Let's say 9 p.m. Because you are naked. You are very, very ashamed of yourself. This woman cannot even walk on the street anymore. The shame is too much. How many, even those of you who live in UK, how many times have you seen Uchechi Kanu? Sorry, God forgive me. Uchechi Delilah Ejiofor. How many times have you seen her? You can never see her in the public anymore, because she doesn't know what is going to be her fate if she shows up in the public. Because she knows very well that she is naked. She knows that she is naked. She knows that the whole world, the whole Biafrans know every single thing she did against our freedom. She's aware. That's why once in a while, I do mapata na radio Fulani, radio Nigeria, call nonsense. I'm sure those of you living in UK are here. Tell me, where have you seen that Delilah for the past 3 years? She thought we don't know her.
Any environment, the police force or whoever said there will be no crime here, go and check it. There will be no crime. Why can't you go to Asoro and make kidnap on that around that DSS connecting to the why can't you go and make kidnap? They never gonna make kidnap now. So the kidnapping stuff going on in the east, these criminals are working with some politicians, government in there, which will then take me to the leader of these kidnappers, these terrorists, yeah? This little imbecile, Nona Finland. For years, he has managed to call my name. After I'm that boy,
now, we are going to digress a little. We will digress a little now. And I want us to see something first. Remember the last word she said? She said that before even the last one, she said, listen, she said that these criminals, she said, Naka government, which I concur. Pure. She's right. Because the government is sponsoring Ifeanyi Ejiofor and Benjamin Madowogu to do kidnap. Kedebe Fabi, where do they live? They live in Abuja. They live in Abuja. So I concur to that. But now, why I would digress a little, I have to digress a little bit. Why should I digress? I will have to digress because she now mentioned the person in Finland, according to her. She said this person, there's another name she called, but we'll come back there. But for the fact that she has mentioned our prime minister in this case, in this kidnapping case, and they saying that Naka government in Onaya, instead of talking about what her boyfriend and man friend is doing in our land, she now wants to deviate attention and bring in our prime minister into the matter. Now, let me digress. With this, I don't have to debunk. Now, with what I want to show you now, there's no need of debunking what she said, whether Maka, the prime minister, Mabu prime minister, Monobro prime minister, as long as she has said, Naka government in Noya, meaning that government is sponsoring whoever that is doing it, which she claimed to be the prime minister. Remember, I am not debunking. I'm not saying Naka government Aka government, according to what she said, which we all know the people who are doing kidnapping in our land. We have evidence for that. We have video evidence, which the prime minister has used before to expose Ifeanyi Ejiofor, which Ejiofor never debunked. Till today, he never debunked it because he knows that the video is there. Right? So, kidnapping the minister of utility in Anambra State is an evidence. So for her to say, Naka government, I don't doubt it. But for her now to bring in our prime minister into it, that's why I have shown what is on the screen right now. Look at it. For those of you who heard what she said, look at what is going on here. They say, Army, ask ICC, the International Criminal Court, orders to take action against Ipob. Look at the date here, 15th of September 2024. This is just yesterday.